By now, you should have settled on an idea you want to work on. If you haven't, you need to go back and watch the previous videos so you know what to do. So I'll go on assuming you have. So let's move on. Now that you have that idea, I'm sure it's burning in your heart and you just want to start. But before you go ahead and hit the market, it is very important that you validate that idea or solution. In order to do that, you need what we call an MVP. It's not Kobe, right? So don't start thinking Kobe Bryant. It's a minimum viable product. So what's an MVP? It's the simplest and smallest way you can get that solution into the hands of real customers so they can give you real feedback. I repeat, real feedback. When they interact with the product or service, you want to ask them, what's wrong with my product? Not just, what do you think about my product? Typically, we ask people, what do you think about my product? No, ask them, what's wrong with my product? In other words, what can you give them or do for them with what you have now that will give them a feel of your product or service without you having to break the bank? And ultimately, don't forget that you want to get their honest feedback. Another way to look at it is, what is the easiest way possible for you to deliver your core value proposition to your customers or users? Because the truth is, your MVP will only be successful if it is able to deliver your core value proposition to your customers or users. This is the true definition of dream big, start small. It's very important to note that your MVP does not have to be perfect. It just has to work. I'll give you good examples. One good example is Uber. Uber's MVP was a very basic app that allows users send their pickup location to drivers in an SMS and the driver picks them up. Zappos is another good one. The founder of Zappos wanted to start an online shoe store. All he did was he went to his local stores, took pictures of shoes, posted it on a very basic website, and when people like the shoes and they place their orders, it runs to the stores, buy the shoes, and then ship to the people. Later, Zappos was bought for close to $2 billion. Your MVP will help you learn quickly with the least amount of resources possible. But you must note, the key to a good MVP is listening. You must listen to your customer feedback. If you listen well, either of these three things would happen to your MVP. The first is that it will scale. This means that your MVP is good. People love the idea. They want to use it. So you start working on improving on it so you can get it into the hands of more people. The second is that it will pivot, which means that you need to make a huge change to your solution. This typically would happen when the people still want the problem solved, but the way you're going about trying to solve this doesn't just necessarily work well for them. So you need to figure out a better way to solve that problem. Third is that it will stop. This typically happens when the problem you're trying to solve is not solvable or they don't even want it solved, right? So typically this will require you to go back and try to focus on solving an entirely new problem entirely. If you were to draw this in a diagram, it will look something like this. If you are able to do this, it will enable you learn quickly and you know what works and what doesn't work. Using an MVP is always a win. If users love it, that means you have your first set of users or customers. If they don't, what you will have done is you will have saved yourself the stress, energy, and resources that you will have spent to create a fully formed product. So guys, you need to go and work on your MVP, and I'll see you again in the next video.